For Soviet Ukrainian immigrants, cultural collapse functions as an abrupt entry into forced self-creation. When geographical borders, political safety, and cultural anchors vanish overnight, individuals are forced to navigate a vacuum of meaning. In the late 19th century, Friedrich Nietzsche diagnosed this collapse as the death of God, the erosion of inherited absolute truth. Without an external structure to dictate value, the individual stands over an abyss where traditional moral anchors no longer hold. Nietzsche proposed the will to power as a drive to fill this void. It is the effort to assert one's own existence and values, rather than accepting the remnants of a failed system. This drive towards the Übermensch, an individual who creates their own authentic existence, is a recurring pattern in popular culture. Our modern antiheroes often mirror this rejection of sacred communion in favor of self-determined values. Popular music provides a dataset of these attempts. By examining how artists articulate their displacement, we can see the specific ways modern individuals build identity out of alienation. We can analyze these responses using this matrix. We plot psychological strategies, informed by attachment theory, along the y-axis, and philosophical complexity along the x-axis. Individual songs function as coordinates on this grid. They reveal how different temperaments react to the same loss of external meaning. By looking at where these songs land, we can identify the specific mechanisms that dictate how someone constructs an identity when their environment provides no stable foundation. Tracing this progression from alienation to transcendence allows us to observe the patterns behind authentic human development. Stage 1 is the baseline, the state of social and psychological displacement. Radiohead's Creep captures the starting point. The lyrics describe an overwhelming sense of unworthiness. The narrator views others as possessing perfect souls, while concluding that he simply doesn't belong here. This matches the clinical patterns of anxious attachment. It is a cycle of seeking external validation while maintaining a profound sense of self-devaluation. Alienation acts as a catalyst for self-creation. The pain of displacement forces the individual to confront the fact that social structures are often arbitrary. This friction is what pushes the individual to stop looking for external acceptance and start seeking a transcendent form of meaning. One path out of alienation is the move toward defiant assertion. The White Stripes' Seven Nation Army serves as an expression of this individual will. The song articulates a total rejection of authority, from the Queen of England to the Hounds of Hell. It chooses an authentic path away from the opera of social expectations. This trajectory often involves a process of psychological hardening. Imagine Dragons' Natural describes this as becoming cold to make it in this world. This strategy aligns with avoidant attachment. The individual achieves a sense of safety through absolute self-reliance and the strategic rejection of vulnerability. While this path transcends conventional moral constraints, it often results in an emotional fortress that keeps the individual isolated from others. Other strategies for escaping alienation involve either intellectual reevaluation or sensory bypass. The song Through the Valley from The Last of Us Part 2 takes the intellectual path, systematically inverting Psalm 23. By replacing divine comfort with their own mind and gun, the narrator moves beyond traditional categories of good and evil. Damnation is no longer feared, it is accepted as a consequence of their chosen path. Kezia's Hideaway represents the ecstatic path. Here, the narrator seeks to let their heart escape beyond the meaning. This functions as a regulation strategy. Intense positive sensory experience temporarily quiets the anxiety of displacement by rendering self-consciousness irrelevant. Both paths aim for the same result, making society's conventional moral demands irrelevant, whether through calculated philosophy or overwhelming sensation. A final trajectory achieves transcendence through the creation of voluntary rules. Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line represents this existentialist approach. Cash expresses authenticity through a self-created framework centered on fidelity and self-control. He isn't following an external code, he is following a line he has drawn for himself. Clinically, this mirrors an earned secure attachment style. After processing earlier wounds, the individual consciously chooses commitment without losing their autonomy. In this case, the ultimate expression of freedom is the ability to choose exactly what one will be bound by. Once an individual successfully constructs their own moral universe, a new set of challenges emerges. Rejections of shared social frameworks often lead to a profound sense of isolation. As the individual moves further into self-determination, the shared ground with others begins to shrink. Green Day's Boulevard of Broken Dreams illustrates the weight of this autonomy. The narrator identifies their own shadow as their only companion. Dave East's Me versus Me explores the internal exhaustion that follows. With external rules removed, the individual is left in a constant internal struggle to integrate different aspects of their identity. The pain of alienation is traded for the chronic responsibility of total self-governance. Authentic existence is not a fixed destination, but a process of navigating this internal complexity without a traditional safety net. These songs highlight a recurring tension in the Western focus on individual assertion. Western models emphasize strengthening the ego to dominate reality. Eastern traditions focus on ego dissolution, recognizing the separate self as an illusion. Equanimity helps navigate this isolation, suggesting harmony with the environment. These approaches can be seen as complementary. The Western drive toward autonomy provides the strength to escape cultural suppression, while Eastern perspectives offer tools to handle the resulting isolation. Authentic existence may require a balance, the strength to build an autonomous self, and the profound wisdom to know exactly when to let that constructed self reconnect with the world around it.